This is your Friday night news. Good evening from the SG179 AM newsroom. We are excited to bring you yet more transportation updates. This is the first broadcast of the year, so let's spice things up with an overview of what the public transport industry will hold for 2025. To begin, the record of the most services introduced on the same day has been broken, with 4 new City Direct bus services: 676, 675, 677 and 678 being launched just yesterday under the Bus Connectivity Enhancement Program and the Travel Smart Journey scheme. We will now speak with our correspondent Unnamed. Unnamed, could you tell us if 4 City Direct services on the same day in the same region are really necessary? Even though the 4 services have been introduced on the same day and in the same region, they are not specifically serving the same area. For example, 675 here starts at Yio Chu Kang Road, and that is near Sengkang. 676 starts at Upper Serangoon Road, which is, it depends, but by the looks of it, it looks like somewhere near Sengkang as well, but in a different area. 677 starts at Punggol Road, which is in Punggol, and 678 in Punggol Central, which could mean that service 677 is not necessarily serving Punggol Central because 678 is doing that for 677. The question is, why did the LTA make so many bus services which are seemingly in the same region? Well, as you can see, all of these bus services, even though they are in the same region, they do not serve the same area, and for the case of service 677 and 678, they can be an alternative for City Direct bus services if commuters experience a breakdown or if the bus is too crowded. So it could be good in a way for them. The Travel Smart Journey scheme, the scheme under which these services were introduced, has been relaunched, now granting commuters traveling from the northeast to the CBD during morning peak hours up to 80% fare discounts if they use these bus services instead of the northeast line. Staying along the line of BCEP, the next Sunday will see the launch of yet another trunk service, 967, connecting Woodlands to Woodlands South, eliminating service 912M the next day. Service 230 will also be amended to serve Lorong 7 and 8 Toa Payoh, connecting them to Caldecott MRT station in February. Other services as part of BCEP are likely to be introduced shortly after these. On to bus interchanges. We have the Pasir Ris Integrated Transport Hub, slated to open this year as well. Woodleigh and Punggol Coast ITHs are also likely to open, but this is unconfirmed. Now, Sengkang West Bus Depot is set for commission this year as well. It is a 5-story massive depot which will be the first in Singapore to support large-scale e-bus deployment. Ang Mo Kio Bus Depot, on the other hand, will soon be demolished. This year, Gali Batu and Lorong Halu's bus depots will be completed and begin construction respectively. The construction contracts for Pasir Panjang and Simpang depots will likely be awarded as well. Next up is exciting news indeed. Tampines bus package is up for grabs. The Seletar bus package's second term will also begin this March, with SBS Transit being awarded the contract for its second term. In other news, some buses will be retiring this year as well. The Mercedes-Benz OC 500LE will reach the end of its 17-year lifespan this year. Hence, these buses will begin retiring this year in batches. 12 Scania KUB Euro 4 buses were retired in October last year. Retirement will continue for these buses this year as well. Next, new 3-door electric buses will be delivered, tested, and maybe even deployed this year. The BYD B12 and Zhongdong N12 buses are being progressively delivered. The BYD buses have entered revenue service, and Zhongdong buses will likely follow suit this year. New buses that were spotted in late 2024, the BYD B12DS, CRRC ED12, and Zhongdong N12D, among others, could also be trialed for eventual revenue service. And that's your insight for the bus industry this year. Coming up next is train news. But before that, a few gentle reminders to our dear audience. This is your SG1798 message for tonight. In this segment, we'll dive into minor updates and tips on how you can enjoy your viewing experience to the fullest. First up, we have a New Year live stream by Zion 2025. Do check it out. Next, for SG1798M transportations, do note all the current updates in the community post posted on New Year's Day. Just to remind you, as a viewer, as you are watching SG1798M transportations, we don't just provide content, we also care about our viewers. So we would like to ensure the well-being of all viewers. Remember to take sufficient breaks and take care of your posture while watching our videos. And while you're at it, leave a like and subscribe for the latest updates. We're back from the break. This is what the rail industry has to offer in 2025. Hume MRT station will be opening in the second quarter of 2025. This station might be opening early because the downtown line has already added the station to its train's dynamic route map displays, or DRMDs. Speaking of which, all C951 trains are undergoing refitting with upgraded DRMD screens, which will be completed in 2025. Another update coming from the JB RTS link. Construction work to connect incomplete tracks spanning across the causeway to the respective stations, Woodlands North and Bukit Chaga, will commence in 2025. Details for new trains for the line have also been released. They are built by CRRC Tuzhou and could be arriving this year. Talking about new trains, the new Jurong Region Line Hyundai Rotem J151 trains are anticipated to be delivered this year. 62 3-car trains have been ordered. Each train will have smaller carriages than other MRT lines, aiming for greater track maneuverability. They will also have wider doors than MRT lines, at 1.5 meters, boasting spaces for wheelchairs and strollers. An onboard backup power supply will be fitted, allowing trains to drive to the nearest station during power failures. Additional measures will be taken to ensure trains can be driven smoothly and to maximize passengers' safety. The new C810D trains for Sengkang and Punggol LRT will also enter service in the second half of 2025, eventually replacing the first generation C810s. In other news, the East-West line will continue to have regular works to connect it to the future ECID. Thus, another closure such as the one that took place last month will occur this year. Additionally, a new platform for the Tanah Merah station and more rail viaducts are being built, after an extension from the original projection for completion in 2024. Here is one of our other correspondents, Zion, live now. Zion, given that TLE is confirmed to take over the Changi Airport line, are these measures really necessary?
Yes, they are in fact quite necessary indeed. I mean, if you really consider that TLE is coming in 2030, you realize that there are still 5 years of the Changi Airport line, which is quite a decent time frame. As of now, commuters to and from Changi Airport need to wait almost 13 minutes for the next train, which is quite inconvenient since trains usually arrive more frequently. Hence, these measures are still necessary. A new platform at Tanah Merah station would allow the currently only one platform to have less demand and promote greater frequency, ensuring passengers' convenience until TLE.
Now, SMRT also aims to complete the decommissioning of all the first generation KHI C151 trains by the end of the third quarter of 2025. Here's the best news for last. This year, Singapore Rail Test Centre is projected to open, being the only one in Southeast Asia. The Singapore Rail Test Centre is located on a 50-hectare site that used to be the Raffles Country Club. This centre is crucial for testing and commissioning both new and existing trains and rail systems. It has received an investment of several $100 million to improve local engineering skills in the railway industry. SRTC features tracks that work with various signalling and communication systems used across the MRT network. It has both third rail and overhead power systems, allowing different trains to be tested at the same time. The facility includes 3 specific tracks for important safety tests: the Endurance Test Track, a 3-kilometer loop for train for performance testing, Performance and Integration Test Track, a 2.8-kilometer loop with an S-shaped branch for detailed testing, High-Speed Test Track, which was completed in November 2023, allows speed testing up to 100 kilometers per hour and has an effective length of 3 kilometers with physical and virtual platforms. Along with about 11 kilometers of test tracks, SRTC has important facilities including an administration building, an operations control center, a train maintenance workshop, and a train refurbishment workshop. The first phase of SRTC was completed in November 2023. Phase 2, which will add more test tracks and facilities, is expected to open in 2025. And that's a wrap for today's broadcast. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for Hypothesis on Sunday at 3 p.m. Good night. This was your Friday Night News.